still driving. But to get back where I was, I had to forgive them for myself. Like, I could not forgive them for their reasoning. And I struggled with that for a very long time because I didn't understand the concept of forgiving them for myself. Like, they're the ones that did it to me. I didn't do it to myself. And that took a long time for me to get to understand. But once I understood it, I was able to be blessed from it. And the reason why I say blessed from it is because now the type of heart I have is a heart of flesh, not a heart of stone. And I'm able to feel now. I'm able to forgive easily and pray for a person than holding a grudge and wishing bad on them. You know, I've learned to pray that I wish that God deals with them accordingly.
Middle lane.
And He's able to bring them back to Him. And that's was something that I also had to learn too, because that was difficult for me to even pray for them. I wanted the worst punishment there could be. And then I realized I was once lost too. I was making bad decisions that hurt people too. And God delivered me. He saved me. And I'm not no judge, juror, or executioner. That's God's job. All I'm able to do is forgive them and pray for them. And continue to heal and go on my journey with Jesus Christ. And once I learned that concept, that was a lot better for me. And I was able to heal. And it took a lot of work. It took a lot of work, a lot of dedication, a lot of support, people praying for me, people being there whenever I couldn't be there for myself. And that's why community is important. It's so important. Like, I could not be where I'm at if God did not send those people to me to help me. And where I was at, I was down bad. From 2 years to now, I'm just like, I am unrecognizable. Like, I see how far I've come. And I lost everything, you know. Me and my other half, we were going through what we were going through. I lost everything. He was where he was at. I had to go move back with my mom. I made a lot of bad decisions. That's where some of my infidelity came into play. Am I proud of that? No, I am not. That's where I said I was lost too. And do I regret it? Most definitely. There were some people there that I did meet who were good people. They were just lost too, and I was able to minister to them even though I was dealing with what I was dealing with. And I was able to spend that time with my mom. And I haven't spoken to her before that in years. You know, I seen her once before, and that was it. You know, I let it go because of the type of situation that I was in. And I held a lot of grudges towards her, not knowing the full information because I was listening to other people and not her. And that put a wedge between our relationship too. And once I was able to spend that time with her, I had to forgive myself because I did become very disrespectful. The last conversation that I had with her before I moved back to where I'm at now, I was disrespectful. Like, we had some words and that I'm not proud of, and I held that guilt for a very long time, even in my healing process.
In the left 2 lanes.
I spent time with my mother and I came back to where I'm at now. I asked her to forgive me. We got our relationship back together, But there are some things that I was not able to ask her for forgiveness before she passed away, because I didn't know. For instance, my adoptive mother, once they found out that my mother had died, she called me either the same day or the next day to let me know, but I had already knew. And she was like, I think it's time for me to tell you this, but your mother did love you. She always talked about you. She always made sure and checked up on you. And she gave you stuff. And I just didn't give it to you. That was hard to swallow. Because the whole time I was in her home, she specifically said my mother did not give no yada 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 about me. Because if she did, I wouldn't be in her home. And that stuck with me. It stuck with me heavy. And I carry that. Especially like if you're being in a situation and you feel alone and you can't run to nobody or talk to them, it's going to keep you in that mindset. It's almost like brainwashing. And I went through that for a very long time. Mind you, I was with this woman since I was 8 or 9 years old. And then I started messing up at 14, you know, once I got tired of the sexual abuse and the mental abuse and physical abuse. I just started running wild. I left. And everything went downhill ever since, you know. But it was a very traumatic experience with me living there. And so for her to tell me that now, that was the icing on the cake. Like, I'm done. You know, like, I tried to forgive you. I tried to do what I needed to do and all the things. But at that moment, I was like, the Christian in me went out the window, and the sinful days came back in real quick. And I had to ask God to forgive me because I hated her. I felt like she took my innocence. She allowed someone to take my innocence. She took everything from me. For what? I have no idea. And I was mad at the system. I was like, you took me from my birth mother and gave her rights to someone else just for them to abuse me even more. I didn't understand it. That's why I said I felt like I didn't have no justice. And I ended up doing everything for my mother when she passed away. I was in a recovery home, trying to get myself together. I didn't have a car, didn't have my license. I was working at the job that I'm working at now, and I had to start from rock bottom. And I was 90 days clean and sober when my mother died. And I stayed sober 2 years strong. And I said, you know what? If I can go through that, I can go through anything and still be strong to rely on God. And God, He cradled me. I don't know how I did it. I do not know how I did it. But in that process, that week I didn't eat, I didn't sleep. I was preparing for my mother's funeral. Financially, everything that needed to be done, I had some help mind you, I was 2 hours away when this happened. So in that moment, I had to call certain people like, hey, can you reach out to this person because I don't have their number, so I'm able to get this done. They were doing the footwork, but I had the idea. I just didn't know how to reach out to these people, because at one point in time, like, I was not on Facebook, no social media, no nothing. It was black dark. That's how I liked it. That's how it was, because I didn't want to deal with none of my family at all. You know, it was I'm done. And so with that being said, I went through it, and I was working at the same
second
time.
or third lane from right.
I was working at the same time, and I was preparing for her funeral, and I sent my mother away in honor. Because if it wasn't for her, I wouldn't be here. So that was 2 years ago, and the devil was heavy in those recovery places. It was heavy. He was attacking me hard. And I wanted to give up. So those that are in recovery, I've been there. Those who are trying to get their stuff together, I've been there. I know it's hard, but you have to rely on your community. Like, that's just something, it's gonna have to happen. If you don't have that, you're gonna fall. And of course, with God's help, ask him to send you somebody or some people that's going to help you stay 10 toes down on what you are supposed to be doing. Because if you weren't weak, you never would have been in the position that you are in now. We're all weak at some point. So it's okay to need somebody, a helping hand. But how the process of our mind is dealing with, oh, if I call on help, then I'm weak, or I'm not responsible, or everybody gonna have a handout. That's why you pray and ask God to send you someone that's gonna help you. That's godly. They're not gonna be asking for a handout. Hey, since I did this for you, I need you to do this for me. No, it's not me scratch your back, you scratch mine. No, because that's what God is there for. He blesses them because they blessed you, and it's a cycle. And when he blesses you, it's going to be overflowing. I'm telling you this because I was there. After a year of me being clean and sober, I literally got my car, got my license, and now I have my own place. But all of that stuff had to transpire. I had to lose everything in order for me to be where I'm at today. And now I'm 2 years sober, and I'm up here trying to help other people move past whatever pain that they're dealing with. I also listened to this, someone tell me this. There was a man walking around with a bunch of rocks in his backpack. And he didn't know why his back was hurting, why all the things was going on. He felt so heavy and down. And one day it clicked for him to just take the rocks out, one by one. And as he did, he started feeling a lot better. That comes when you realize that you need God. He will most definitely help you take them rocks out, and you will feel much lighter. But until you surrender, you're going to feel how you feel. And you're going to stay that way. Because that's what the devil wants. He wants you to stay that way. So you won't be able to do your purpose that God has given you to do. And I was one of them. I'm telling you, I was one of them. I can sing. I have visions. God speak to me. I know I have wisdom. I know who I stand in because of my authority. God has given me that authority, and I know what I know, and you can't change my mind. No, you never will be able to change my mind because I know what he did for me, and I know what he can do for you too. And at the same time, it was so important